Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pillar to Post, and I welcome you to the laundry room. My name is Pete Wall. I am your host, and tonight I would have to say we've seen a very disappointing SmackDown. After the review I gave Raw last night, I'd have to say Raw beat SmackDown. So, there was a few good points in this show, but overall we only really got two matches. Two matches in 2 hours. I really don't know what to say about tonight's show. It was fucked up. You had 80% talking. That's 80% of a show that you could have used your tag team division. You could have had a different match for the women's division. You could have had an actual match for John Cena and Nikki Bella. Instead, we got a quarter of a match, and they were facing James Ellsworth and Carmella. So, we got two tag team matches without any tag teams being involved. I should say 1 1/4 tag team matches. The second tag match, I thought, dragged on for far too long. It's my opinion. I was bored as fuck for most of this fucking show. Bored as motherfucking hell. On top of that, my wife and my oldest daughter actually joined me watching SmackDown today. And they were so bored that they were making stupid comments towards the show all throughout the show until the main event. So, not only was I frustrated with a terrible fucking SmackDown, I got frustrated because of all the stupid comments. Because I felt like voicing them as well, but I was trying to give the show a chance. I don't know if this is going to be a very long review because it was a very short-lived episode of SmackDown. So, we had Shane McMahon come out first to open up the show. He then called out Daniel Bryan. They had a discussion of who they believe should be in the championship match at WrestleMania 33. And in the end, they said it couldn't be decided by debate. They showed a video package of AJ Styles, Randy Orton basically giving up his spot. And then they had another video about him saying he was going to take the title from Bray Wyatt. And like I said, in the end, they came to the conclusion that it could not be decided by debate. Well, no fucking shit. We knew since last week that they were going to have another number 1 contenders match tonight. So, this whole opening was pointless. A complete waste of time. 15 fucking minutes they wasted. And then we go to a commercial, and then we come back and we got AJ Styles confronting the GM and the COO, or whatever the fuck they're called, and the commissioner and GM. That's what they are. And saying he's been trying to call them all week and all weekend and hasn't been able to get through and blah, blah, blah. You know, we already knew it was going to be solved in the ring. We go back to another commercial, and then we come back and we've got James Ellsworth in the ring, for fuck's sakes. And he's got the goddamn microphone in his hand. Who the fuck gives this guy a microphone? So, he basically runs his mouth about John Cena and Nikki Bella, and then he introduces Carmella. John and Nikki come down. We go for another commercial before the match is even started. We come back, and Miz and Maurice are making their way down to the ring. And this causes a slight distraction. Nikki Bella gets a kick to the face by Carmella, and the match is underway. Now, the match didn't go very far. Nikki Bella and Carmella took up basically the whole match of what little of a match there was. And when John Cena finally gets tagged in, James Ellsworth shows that he's nothing but a pussy, and he doesn't want to get in the ring. It takes Carmella to force him into the ring to face John Cena. And when he finally does, he tries to do no chin music, gets caught, and it all goes to shit from there. The Miz and Maurice save us, actually. This stupid fucking match. They interfere. They take out John Cena, Nikki Bella. They enter the ring. The Miz has something to say. And it all came down to the relationship of John Cena and Nikki Bella. Saying that they were a disgrace to anyone that actually cared and loved their partner. They were disrespecting the marriage fucking bullshit. It wasn't a bad promo. It was a really good promo. It was just a sign of what was to come. And from that promo, we go to Renee Young knocking on Randy Orton's door, wanting to interview him. And she wants to ask him about him burning down the Wyatt compound. Orton cuts her off. Orton says, okay, let's see. If he's willing to burn down the Wyatt compound, what's he capable of doing to face Wyatt at WrestleMania? He knows AJ is phenomenal, but he's just one KO or RKO from going to WrestleMania. Says AJ should be afraid. No, he should run. And then we get Kurt Hawkins in the ring. And he's calling out Dean Ambrose. I really don't understand this bit, but it was a spot. Kurt Hawkins calls out Dean Ambrose. Ambrose comes out, and Kurt Hawkins jumps out of the ring to attack him. Dean Ambrose ducks the clothesline and buries him. Just clotheslines him. You can't bury a guy like Kurt Hawkins. He buries himself. Dean enters the ring and calls out Baron Corbin. He wants Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin obliges. He appears on the Titantron. He says he does not come down to the ring when called, and he doesn't know why Ambrose is in such a hurry, because when they meet, it will be for the IC title. Ambrose informs him if he will not come out, he's going to have to go into the back and find him himself. On his way out, he gives Kurt Hawkins dirty deeds, and he leaves the stage. We break for a commercial. We come back, and Dean Ambrose is walking the hallways of the arena and calling out for Dean Ambrose. And then we get switched over to Mojo Rawley, for fuck's sakes. Mojo wants to inform everyone he is the first SmackDown wrestler to be the entrant into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Enter Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler basically turns it into a joke. You have to earn your spot at WrestleMania. Mojo replies, so what are you doing here, basically? And then we have Ambrose still searching for Baron Corbin. But he gets more than what he asked for. Because Baron Corbin is waiting around the corner. He pushes some guy, I don't have no fucking clue who it was, a stagehand, pushes him into Dean Ambrose's path, and then he goes on the attack with a steel pipe. He beats on Ambrose for a bit, and I thought the segment wasn't bad. It was like Baron Corbin was confused of what he was supposed to do after he beat Ambrose up with the pipe. He asked Ambrose if he had enough or if he was satisfied, and Ambrose replies, nice talk. So Baron Corbin returns, starts booting him around, drags him over to a forklift, and starts stomping the shit out of him, and then he walks around and he lowers the forks onto Ambrose's chest. Enter the refs and officials, and they're all screaming. Someone finally lifts the forks off of Dean, and the segment. Enter Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. They're there for the Alexa Bliss Station. I think that's what it was called. I really didn't see the point of this. Ended up with Mickie, Alexa, Natalya, and Becky all inside the ring bickering as to who will face Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania for the women's title. And Daniel Bryan comes out and informs them. Well, actually, I should say this. Mickie James, I guess, figured she deserved her shot, so she opened her mouth, but Alexa Bliss shut her down too. We get Daniel Bryan come out, and he informs Alexa that she will be defending her title against every available woman on the SmackDown roster. And then he takes a page out from Teddy Long and makes a tag team match. So it's Alexa Bliss and Mickie James versus Becky Lynch and Natalya. Couldn't give us an actual tag team match because you don't want to build up your tag teams before Mania. You know, God forbid that fucking happen. Anyway, it wasn't a bad match. It just seemed like it was prolonged. It was overrun. I think it was because the beginning started off so slow, and then with all the interruptions with the commercials, it made it seem even longer. In the end, Mickie James wanted to go for the pin. Alexa Bliss tags herself in, and she pins Becky Lynch. Now, what came before that? Becky Lynch was making her comeback. She didn't want to tag in. It seemed like she wanted to finish the match herself. She didn't want to tag Natalya in. So she's got Mickie James in the corner and just wailing on her. Natalya comes up behind, delivers a massive and beautiful German suplex, and then she just walks out. So when Mickie James wants to go for the pin, she goes a little bit too close to Alexa Bliss in the corner. Alexa Bliss tags herself in, and she covers for the pin. So we have Alexa Bliss and Mickie James as the winner of the tag team match, but it isn't over. As they're celebrating side by side, Mickie James delivers what she used to call the chick kick to the side of Alexa Bliss's head. She then goes and picks up the women's title, holds it high overhead, and drops it and exits. Finally, we get to the match we all wanted to see. And we had to watch, in my opinion, a lot of bullshit to get to this point. I was on Twitter and I seen a lot of people saying that SmackDown still was far better than what Raw was. I'm sorry, you can go fuck yourself. If you thought tonight's SmackDown was better than Raw, you are dead fucking wrong. And I was very critical of Raw last night. Tonight, SmackDown was complete shit except for, I'd say, the last 45 seconds of the main event. The entire main event was pretty good. It was the last 45 seconds of the main event that was fucking awesome. Does 45 seconds warrant the praise of the fans for a shitty show? Fuck you, it does. Now, I'm trying to build a following here. I'm trying to build up my brand here. And with reviews like this, I know I'm not going to get that. I've got 11 subscribers. I'm happy that some of them actually watch. But I'm not going to sugarcoat my opinions for anybody. I'm not going to follow every subscriber and kiss their ass to make them happy. And I'm sure as hell not going to get down on my knees and open my mouth for some fucking loser that thinks SmackDown was awesome tonight. We had AJ come out first. He grabs the mic, says SmackDown is the house he built. And I had to laugh there because SmackDown came long before AJ. And honestly, AJ has not done enough on the main roster as of yet to claim he has built the house. Claims he took a B show and made it the show. He gets nothing but disrespect from Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. And nothing and no one will keep him from main eventing at WrestleMania and making it phenomenal. It was a pretty good promo. It was. But that's all we had tonight is promo after promo after promo after promo. We even had a little promo from Austin Aries to hype up tonight's 205 Live. From what we've seen in the past from SmackDown the last few months to what we are getting tonight, it's almost like they held back tonight to give Raw a better review. You know, it's like, oh, SmackDown's dropping the ball again, so we better start tuning back into Raw because they actually had a not bad show last night. Anyway, Randy Orton finally gets down to the ring. We break for commercial, and we come back. Match is already in progress. Oh no, it wasn't already in progress. They didn't do what Monday Night Raw did. Like I said, it was a pretty good match. The last 45 seconds, though, were the best. It seemed like both of these wrestlers, AJ Styles and Randy Orton, were both trying to play the slow, methodical game. Throughout the whole match, there was little outbursts of speed like we seen at the beginning. AJ Styles came in for a clothesline, Randy Orton ducked it, and he went straight for the RKO. AJ escaped, slid out of the ring, and waited for a couple of minutes, or not a couple of minutes, a few seconds, and then came back in. Now, it was at one point all Randy Orton, then it was AJ Styles, it was Randy Orton again, AJ Styles. AJ was kept on working on Randy Orton's legs. We seen the calf crusher. We seen some attempts at an RKO, and we seen a Styles Clash attempt which failed miserably. And I'm going to just jump to the last 45 seconds. AJ's got Randy Orton on the ropes. He's standing on the outside. He's ready to do his phenomenal forearm. He goes. He fakes it. Randy Orton was planning on catching him in the RKO in the middle of the air. Instead, he catches nothing but wind. And he falls to the ground. We got a gritting AJ still on the outside. He goes for the springboard 450 splash. And misses. Now, he does a complete roll through. And he comes to his feet only to get hit with the RKO. and match is over. 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton is your number 1 contender, and he will be meeting Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. I expected a hell of a lot more tonight from SmackDown. I was very critical, and I even ate a little crap for how critical I was of Raw last night. And, you know, I go by my perspective. It's my opinion, it's no one else's. If I didn't like something, if I didn't enjoy something, I'm going to say something about it. I am a blunt motherfucker. I don't need anyone talking into my ear and saying, well, you know, just tone it down a little bit. No, not gonna fucking happen. Was Raw better this week than SmackDown? Definitely. Most definitely. We had matches, at least, on Raw. Tonight we got 2 1/4 matches, and 1 1/4 of those matches, one was just the other one was and we had a not bad main event. So that's my review for tonight. It's probably not going to be very long, but SmackDown really didn't give much to review tonight. It led into WrestleMania with the World Champion situation, with the intergender tag team match with Miz and John Cena with their women, and Daniel Bryan made it the entire women's roster going for the women's title for WrestleMania. So we had that, and we had a lot of promos. I could have missed the entire first hour and not missed a fucking thing. So it's my review. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry. I go with what I'm given. But I would like to request that you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help a fucking guy out with some subs, and hopefully next week I've got something better to review. But for tonight, I'm fucking done. Good night.